As much as I can absorb, someone else is going to kick my ass, right? So you talk about paranoia. The greatest source of your paranoia should be knowledge. If someone else knows more than you do, and if you're not learning, if you don't know how to learn, if you don't have a thirst for learning and acquiring information, you're SOL.
Do you think there needs to be a healthy level of paranoia?
Oh, absolutely.
There needs to be.
Oh yeah, I mean, I always say, for every one of my businesses, I say, what would I do to kick my own ass? You're right. So whatever business you have, there's somebody trying to put you out of business. There's somebody trying to take a bite out of your business, and it's better for you to figure out how they're going to do it rather than they do it. And so yeah, that's being paranoid. And so you have to be paranoid. You have to anticipate other people's next moves, and you can't ever, downplay the competition. I was at a business plan competition this morning at a college, and they were kind of being dismissive of the competition, and so you can't ever do that. They're out there trying to take you down, and they're not just going to sit still. And if you're good, really, really good, you're going to inspire them to work even harder, faster, better. And so you have to be, very self-aware of what you're good at and what other people are good at. And, a healthy dose of paranoia makes a big difference. Is very helpful.
Let's transition to a different subject with college. You went to IU,
Yep.
right? Now you got a lot of people that say, forget about school, drop
idiots.
out of school.
They're idiots.
So you think they're idiots?
They're idiots.
Tell me why.
If you're going to have and run a business, if you don't understand accounting, you're already behind the 8 ball.
Can't you hire a guy that knows how to run
But then
accounting?
they still have to communicate to you. Your accountant might tell you you're profitable, but your cash is going down. Not understanding a breakdown. And when you don't,
Do you think you need college to learn that?
yeah, I think you do, right? Because it may not, for some people, look, if you're so self-motivated that you can take an online course in accounting and teach yourself everything, you're way ahead of the game anyways. But most people aren't. I don't care if you go to a community college and take accounting and spend 99 bucks for the class. Just, spending the money forces you to be more obligated to do it. But accounting, finance, lesser extent marketing, sales if the school offers that. These are all that's the language of business. And so while it's possible to teach yourself these things, and while it's possible to hire them, when you're starting your own company, you don't want to have to spend money hiring an accountant. Well, let me take that. If you've gone through all these classes, you probably don't have to hire a lawyer to incorporate, right? You can probably figure out yourself. And so your cost of opening up a business drops. But even more important than all that, that's the blocking and tackling. That's the language of business. The thing I learned at Indiana that was more important than anything else, I learned how to learn. And learning became far more important to me, because the one certainty in business is that it's always going to be changing.
How does one entrepreneur increase the speed in areas that they can increase? There's certain things you can't control.
Speed in what way?
Speed of growing your business.
All right.
So how fast can I grow it?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. You've got to know your own skill set, right? And you've got to know how that fits within your company's life cycle. Some companies are slow grind, and you just have to understand that, and you've just got to bide your time until it starts to click, and then grow with it quickly. If you're trying to release a product that needs to be ubiquitous, you've got to go as fast as you can, and then
release a product, like a launch.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who will say, perfection is the enemy of profitability, right? And that doesn't mean you have to wait till it's a perfect product. It really just depends on what the product is. It a barbershop, right? Is it an app? Is it a service? Is it a product? But the key is looking for the low-hanging fruit. What customers are willing to write you a check or commit to it, so that they're willing to integrate it into their daily lives or integrate it into their daily business. And so getting a commitment either through time or revenue is typically what I look for. And so if I can get a commitment, then I'm going to be able to learn. I'm going to see how they use it. Do they sustain usage? And then once I get the next one, hopefully it came a little bit faster than the first one. Then I can ask for referrals, and then the next one, and I just try to ramp it up. When I bought the Mavs, we had no season ticket holder base. And so literally it was a matter of just putting a list of former season ticket holders in a white pages back then, on my desk next to my phone, and making phone calls.
You?
Yeah, me. Yeah, because if I'm not going to do it, how can I expect someone else to do it, right? So just get on the phone. Hey, this is Mark Cuban. I'm the new owner of the Dallas Mavericks. I'd like to invite you back for again. It's not though. This is my business.
But you can't get regular sales guys or something to make those calls once they get to a quarter. You're a guy that's a billionaire. You're making those calls.
But that's all, and that's fine and good, right? Because everybody's got their own goals, right? But still, I don't want anybody at the Mavs to be able to say, well, he's not willing to do the work, right? There's, if I walk around, I'm picking up all the papers. I'm not saying go get that picked up. I'm like, okay, that's trash. I'm picking it up. But in terms of speed of growth, it's really, you got to get that first customer first. And then when you get that first, what did you learn? Reiterate, get that next customer. And then hopefully as you learn more and more through the process, then the next one comes by even faster. Alluding to it earlier about entrepreneurs being born or built, and I think I knew I was wired to be excited about business. How or why, I don't know, but and there's certain guys that have the genetics to jump out of the gym, right? There's certain guys, that when they golf, they have the muscle memory and the discipline. Dirk Nowitzki may not be the most talented guy in the NBA, but his discipline and his focus to do what's necessary to be successful, he's willing to do, and combine it with being 7 feet tall and being skilled, it makes him an amazing basketball player. So it's understanding what your skill set is, finding the right place to use those skills, and then going for it. Will that make you 250 grand? It depends if you pick the right industry. I started my first business when I was 12. I was buying and selling baseball cards, buying and selling stamps, anything I could do to make money. I was hustling and trying to do. So I was into business, but I not so much where it was all my friends were into it with me, so they wouldn't know.
Baseball cards.
Yeah, baseball cards, you name it. I mean, I grew up in Pittsburgh, and so I would, probably even less than 12 years old, I would go out and buy a bunch of baseball cards that I collected, and I would package, I would say, okay, you're guaranteed to have a Pittsburgh Pirate in this package, and I would charge 3 times as much, and I'd set up on this park bench down in the park down in Scott Township where I grew up, and I'd have these little sales, and it was great. I made money, and it was, and I learned as much about business when I was 9, 10, and 12 as I learned any other time.
Hey, I see Cameron. Happy belated birthday, Cameron. All right, well, welcome to the marketing takeover for the all manager meeting. I'm so excited to bring up our marketing team and to talk about all things marketing and ways that we can get butts in seats. You're going to hear that phrase a lot, butts in seats, because why? Because that's how we all make more money, right? We get butts in seats. So before we start talking about butts, let's go to our mission statement. Here we go. Everyone should know it by now. We deliver an immersive adventure, harnessing masterful showmanship, outrageous service, and an over-the-top experience. Wolf, I see you smiling, so I feel like I may have done that right this time. All right, let's go to the best factor, and I'm going to bring up some of the marketing. Come on, guys. Why am I bringing up the marketing team? Because if you guys have been to any of the marketing meetings, this team is the first sentence to help you do the best factor. Here we go, team. Ready? The excitement a guest feels from the moment they discover our venue, which reignites every time they remember their experience. Yes, Tammy, I see you out there. All right, I hope you guys keep up the energy. Again, we're going to talk about what? Butts in seats. All right, how do we get it? So again, this is officially the marketing takeover. All right, here we go. Let's start off with be our guest, be our guest, put our magic to the test. No judging, I know I can't sing. Anyway, so what is it about our guests? We have to know them so that we can serve them, so we can grow with them. So when a person comes into our venue, they are a guest. When they come back, after 3 times, they become a regular. And then what happens after they become regular? They become a fan, right? So that's the goal. We want guests to become regulars, to become fans. How do we do that? Well, we first got to know our guest. All right. All right. I'm gonna let you guys take a breather because you guys take over after me. Go ahead. You sit down. It's okay. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, wait. I forgot. It's the interjection slide. So these lovely people. I've got 4, or no, I've got 3 of the 5 that are on our team because James is in Spain here in the black and white. It's like almost perfect that he's almost not here. It's like he's ghostly, right? right. So you are going to be hearing from 3 of the 4 of our marketing team. Well, and Karen. Karen is she's waving. There she is. She's over there making sure that everything goes right. All right. Thanks, Karen. All right. So let's talk about getting to know our guests. So the mission through all of these is to increase the average new guest per week. You guys should by now have all received your GoBEST Insight reports. They should have been received into your emails just moments ago. So wave your hands if you got them. Woohoo! Good. So we're going to talk about how those reports were created, the things that we use to develop those reports, and how that and how we can use those reports to increase our new guest numbers per week. You guys all have on your insight reports, you guys have roughly how many guests per week, depending on your venue, and then what that potential revenue potential will be. All right. All right. So the strategy of this meeting is to talk about out-of-the-box promotions. And again, we want every new guest to be more than what they cost to serve. All right. All right. So in those GoBEST Insight reports, this is what I did. I took your monthly reports based on if I had your monthly reports. So some of you, it was March, some of you is February, so it may be a little dated. And then I took your patron scan reports for the month of March. So in those patron scan reports, I coupled that with your monthlies and I smushed them all together. And then I asked the team a bunch of questions for new promotions. And so that's what you got. So they're different for everybody, but I wanted to make sure you had them. And if you had any questions, we can talk about them at the end. But we're not going to go through every single location, which is why you have them, because this meeting, again, is only supposed to be about an hour. All right. All right. So let's keep going. Let's talk about how to use the patron scan to find your target audience. Okay, you guys can sit down because I got to be Vanna. All right. So as you guys, not yet. Okay, this works too. All right, cool. All right, so as you guys can see from the weather map right here, you see all these lovely circles. Gotta go forward. There are all these lovely circles. So I use the Las Vegas, there we go. I use the Las Vegas Insight report, patron scan report, to identify the top zip codes that their guests are coming from. And that's these zip codes. And I encourage you, now I'm bigger. So I encourage you on your insight report. I've already done this for you. For those of you that get your patron scan reports, you have this information already. For those of you that don't, you have it on your new insight report. You have your top zip codes. So what do we do with these zip codes? These are identifying where your guests are coming from. On your patron scan, and I'll show you on in a future slide, I'll show you exactly how many more guests you probably have in these zip codes so that you can get those butts in seats. Make sense so far? You can nod or wave or awesome. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. So once you get these new butts and seats, for Las Vegas, we talked about having to get 600 new guests a week. So in Las Vegas, there we go. Okay. If we get 60 new guests a week, if we upsell them just $50, if we increase their spend $50, which as you guys know in Las Vegas, that's like 2 drinks, right? That'll increase revenue 30%, which will give them an additional $9,000 weekly just for upsell. That's literally just the upsell. Okay. Now, if we get those people to do bottle service, that's a 50% increase. I'm sorry, I take that back. My numbers are wrong. This is if we get 50% of those new guests. So that's not every new guest. This is 50% of those new guests to do bottle service at $150. Then this is going to be their weekly revenue with just 50% of those guests. So this top one, that was 30% of the new guests. If they upsell $50, they'll get $9,000. And then if we can get 20% of those new guests in Las Vegas to do a VIP room, that's an additional $36,000 in weekly revenue. So those numbers that you guys see on your insight report, it's going to be the same thing. You're just going to multiply it by your number. All right. So I've given you what your average guest should be. For some of you, it's 30, some of you, it's 35, sometimes it's 40, 45, some are 60. And if you use these percentages, 30%, 50%, 20%, and then multiply those many people. So 30 times 3,300, 30 times 150, or 30 times 50, then you're going to get your weekly revenue, or I think it's already on your insight report. All right. Does this make sense? All right, cool. So for Las Vegas is the bigger club. So yes, there's 600, but for a lot of you, it's 30 guests. 30 guests per week is your target growth rate, and that you're going to increase your revenue based on that insight report that I gave you. Okay. All right, let's go. Oh, I love the hearts, Tammy. Thank you. All right. So how did I get this info? I use this report. How many of you have seen this report? Raise your hand if you've seen this report. Fantastic. So this report here, I wish I had better eyes. Oh, okay. I'll use my good eye. All right. So this report here is going to tell you, there we go, is going to tell you how many guests meet this male demographic. And for this location, which is Flint, 87% of their guests are male, and their average age is 32. Huh. So when I'm using Patron Scan to identify my guests, I start with the data. All right. Go to the next slide. We're going to talk about the zip codes. I'm sorry. Wait, go back. Repeat. You also want to talk about your repeats. So in this location, they had 284 out-of-town guests, I mean, not from Flint. All right. And they have 57 repeat patrons. How would I use that number? If I know that I have 57 repeat patrons, how can I use that number? That means 57 people came back. Now, if I had a promotion in which I wanted to have more people come back, I want to watch this number grow. Okay. Now, using your Patron Scan, if you guys are using your Patron Scan correctly, which means every guest is gone through Patron Scan. That's it. That's that easy as it gets. You just make sure every guest is scanned through Patron Scan. You're going to get all this great information. There were 13 birthdays in Flint in the month of March. So I hope they had 13 amazing blue light specials. Is that the right word, Wolf? Birthday shake. Oh, Tammy's over there shaking. Yes. Hopefully there were 13 amazing birthday stage dances. And if I'm seeing this report as if I was a club operator and I see that I didn't do 13 stage dances, that means I have an opportunity for the next time, right? So every time someone scans and you see that it's their birthday, let them in, give them the drink, make it a celebration. Because again, that's how we turn guests into regulars and give them an amazing time to come back. All right. So this is the information how I started. I looked at your repeat patrons. There you go. All right. Now you can get a Patron Scan report daily, weekly, or monthly. All right. So that means if you're running a promotion in which you're trying to increase that repeat patrons, you can easily show how effective it is by seeing if that number goes up. All right. Okay. Now we can go to the next slide.
The bear got me. Help me save me from the bear.
Can everybody mute their mic? Somebody's being a bear. There we go. Okay. All right. So then I took a look at your zip code demographics. So this is how you guys got those zip code information. All right. So first I looked at your top. Can I come all the way over without being on camera? Nope, I can't. Oh, nope, can't see me there either. Okay. Look over there. There we go. We're going to start with this report. So looking at your zip code demographics, you're going to see where your top people are coming from. So these are the zip codes, not this sheet, but that sheet over there. We go. Thanks, Karen. All right. So in Flint, these are the top zip codes that are coming through. Thank you, Karen. These are the top zip codes that are coming from. And then this is their household income. So if you're looking for a certain type of person when you're out doing passes, then you want to hit these zip codes that have this household income. Does that make sense? Awesome. All right. Let's see if she can switch me back over to the other side. Ah, she's so awesome. Okay. Now, there. All right. So now you see in, let's say this zip code, because that's where my hand is, that there we go. In that zip code right here, I can see in Flint's a 21 and over club. So their total population is 39,000. But for males, because that's mostly males in this demographic, the most males is 9,121, right? And of that male population, the average age is 31. Now, keep in mind, back on that other sheet, we saw that there were only, I think, was it 900? No, what was the total? Another sheet? They got, there it is. They got 254, right? So back on the other sheet. So out of the total of all of these zip codes, they got 254, but there's several thousand more to get. Does that make sense? There we go. All right. Oh, sorry, it was on this sheet. So there's 21 in that same zip code. We've only had 29 patrons, and there's 9,128 to go get, right? So I'm going to use this by identifying that zip code, and I'm going to find the bars and the restaurants they're going to close. I'm going to find gyms. I'm going to find where all these people go. Now, who is this person? Now that I've taken all this information, I've created a person. Next slide. Okay. Oh, I missed a slide. No, it's my fault. I did it in the wrong place. We're going to go back. So let's go to DJ. Let's go to DJ. Yep. Go to DJ. All right. So after doing all that information, I now know who my guest is. And I've really familiarized myself with him because I've gave him a name. His name is James J.D. Dennis. He's 38 years old. He lives in 48429. His profile, I've made up some stuff. Welder, he works long hours, doesn't play games, shows up late, drinks what he knows, tips what he trusts, wants good energy, good cast, and a seat that feels like his. His move, he goes to the theater booth and dances with his regular cast pick entertainer, and he pays cash up front. This is where the real ones go. I've been here longer than some of the furniture, right? So now I really get to know this person. I've created him in my head, and now I can truly, truly, truly cater to him and make him a person and find out what he would like. Does this make sense? So yes, I made up some stuff based on what his age was by his demographic. You know, I did all of that work to create this person, and now I have a person. So I did that for you all in your insight. So that's JD. Let's meet another one. All right, let's go to Hustler Club Shreveport and let's meet Trev Lawson. All right, Trev, he's a weeknight local, crew boss by day, VIP booth by night, comes to unwind, not impressed. He knows the staff, he tips right, always has a bottle on chill. He wants hookah. He wants the cast to pick the playlist. He likes a couch dance after round 2. For him, this place feels like it's built for us, not just tourists. So he's a local. This is why he wants to bring everyone here. So give your person a name. I've given you guys some names. It doesn't have to stay what I wrote and what I thought of. Obviously, you guys know your markets better than I do, but these are just some examples. All right. Now let's meet her. Okay. Now in Cat's Meow, New Orleans, the average person, ideal guest is female. So I've named her Sarah Fielding. She's 31 years old. She's from 60657. She's a girls trip leader. She's a TikToker by all day. She's a corporate marketing manager by day, but she loves to do karaoke. So she searches for fun bars in New Orleans on her flight in. She wants to sing, sip, and be seen without velvet ropes. She wants to share a stage, buy a round, captures the vibe. This is what a real night starts, even if you don't remember how it ends. I really know Sarah. So when I'm doing my marketing, when I'm doing my promotions, I have Sarah in mind, and I can be very specific about how I'm going to get Sarah into my venue. Does all this make sense to everyone? Awesome. So again, I've given you a start on who your person is. Does not have to be who they are. And I just used the metrics from TikTok. I'm sorry, from Patron Scan. And you'll also see in your version that I dug a little deeper, and I also showed you like where your busiest times are. And again, that's information that's only based on information that I have. So I implore you to take the same information. Of course, you guys have more of it, and use that information to really develop who your guest is. Know who they are. Give them a name. So when you're talking about your promotions, you can talk about, well, was Sarah like this? Would JD like that? Right? And that way you can be very, very clear on how to bring in those extra guests and making guests into regulars. All right. Awesome. Okay, now let's go back. We're going to go back to the other way that you can use Patron Scan. All right. You can use Patron Scan to plan. How? Well, because it tells you your 10 busiest days. Now, in this location, in Cat's Meow down in New Orleans, all of their, oh, jeez. Yes. Nope. All of their busiest days were this year, right? So that means they've got some planning for next year. We know the Super Bowl was down there. However, they've still got to meet that number. So now they know the top busiest days this year, at least so far. And they're going, and so for you, for Patron Scan, this year means the last 365 days from when you pull the report, okay? So you're at the 10 busiest days here. Make sure you guys have a plan for next year. All right. And then highest sales days. And these are sales that are put in Patron Scan. So if you don't put sales in Patron Scan, you're not going to see this. All right. But you know how to plan for those days. Okay. All right. Now, what happens if it's not this year or you got to work for next year? How do I use Patron Scan? Well, let's see the next slide. Let's look at Lansing. There we go. All right. So for Lansing, you can see the busiest days, and some of them are coming up, like September 27th and 28th. That is 2 days back to back, Tammy, that you and your team need to plan how to get butts in seats. So again, this is how you can use Patron Scan to plan. Make sense? Awesome. All right. So that means you need to be like Wolf. And these days, you make sure you have a promotion going on. You make sure you talk to Chris, make sure you get those marketing reports in at least how many weeks before? 5? No, 10. 10 weeks, 12. 12 weeks before. All right? Okay. All right. Okay, now let's talk about some fun stuff. So this is how to, these are just ideas that we came up with. So I'm going to call up, where's Chris? Here. Come on in, Chris. All right. So Chris and I are just gonna talk about some offsite connections that you guys can do pretty much immediately if you're not already doing them, okay? How about, Chris, why is it important to go to hotels that don't have attached clubs?
Well, if they have an attached club already, the people are probably going to go to the attached club, and the hotel probably isn't going to want you in there anyway because you're a competitor.
There you go. So why not go to places that you don't compete with?
Exactly.
There we go. All right. Okay, Chris, you're very good at this. Collaborating with other businesses. Why is this important?
Well, you're building local relationships. So if another business, say a golf venue or a dispensary, they have a customer that says, hey, I'm done golfing. I'm done smoking my weed. Where can I go kick back and drink some beers? There you have a contact. You have hopefully a business card or a referral card at the venue, and they can hand it to their customers and send them on your way.
And then you get a new guest.
Exactly.
There we go. Okay, this one's kind of fun. The experimental QR scavenger hunt. So this one is when you take QR codes all over the city in bars, in stores or whatever, and somehow they lead you back to your club. Has anyone done that one? I feel like Wolf is going to have an amazing one by the end of the year because he's got great scavenger hunts. Buses and limos, why are those important?
Well, you have typically a bachelor party, bachelorette parties that are taking a bus or a limo. And when they ask the limo driver or bus company for a idea, hopefully they're going to name your club first because you're giving them a little kickback, a referral bonus.
A referral bonus. We don't want to say
Not
kickback.
kickback,
No,
yeah,
no, no,
referral
no.
bonus.
Referral bonus. We're going to scratch that from the edited version. Bachelorette and bachelorette party planners. This one's almost a no-brainer, right? But why is it important to offer flat rate VIP bundle deals?
Well, if you're planning a party, you typically have a set budget. So you make it easy for the customer to look and say, okay, great, I can go to Cat's Meow, and with my party of 20, I got a $2,000 budget, $500 budget, whatever it is. It makes it simple.
Makes it simple.
My KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
And I think I put this next one on the Las Vegas Insight report, crypto bottle service. So for those of you that accept cryptocurrency, it's a great idea possibly to have like a crypto night. So New York, Las Vegas, having a crypto night. So we have all the crypto people coming in and spending their cryptocurrency, right? Local college promotions. You guys, college students are stressed. They're having finals. They've got midterms, and they would love when they finish that midterm to do what, Chris?
Relax, kick back, relieve stress.
So make sure you're focusing on your college campuses. Street team targeting, refer to Patron scan. Kind of already talked about this. You guys use your zip codes and go past where you've already gone. Jason likes to say that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So switch it up a bit. Go to different zip codes. Your guests are coming to you anyway. That's what you got from your Patron scan. So try out the different zip codes.
Remember, when you're handing out passes, the typical return is good number is 3%. So be figuring 1 to 2% is what's going to bring back a pass or a flyer. So you better be handing out 10,000 to get your 100 people in.
Well, Jason says 300 a day, at least
That's
300 a day. So of those 300, how many are you going to get in a day, Chris, according to your?
3%. You're only going to get about 9, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you get 9 people, consider yourself amazing. All right. So don't get discouraged if you're like, well, we put out 300 and only 2 people came back. Well, 1% still good too. All right. Just keep it up. And the other thing is, how do I know if I've given out 300?
Well, you would count them before you hand out.
There you go. I've heard that question so many times, like, well, how do I know how many I've given out? Well, you got to count them before you hand them out. So give each person 50. And then if they return with 2, then you know that they've given out how many, Chris?
48.
There you go. All right. And then if they come in with 1 or 2, then you can count your percentage a lot easier. So that is how you make sure you know how many passes you're pulling out, is you count them before you go. What's next? Oh, yes. This is when I get to sit down. Come on, Chris. All right. I'll go with. Probably need some mics.
Hello, hello. Can everybody hear us?
Yes. Cool. So social media strategy to get more butts in seats. What I need you guys to do is get me content. Take at least 1 picture a day.
That's way over there. You guys, number 1.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this. So at least 1 picture a day. Send it to me. At least 1 video a week. Make sure model releases are signed before you send me anything. No exceptions. And submit in your content. If you don't know how to reach me, send me the photos, videos to WhatsApp. My number's listed right there, 443-802-8984, or email social@gobestvip.com. Anything social media, send it to that email. If you have any questions, send it to the email too. And if you need more help with the guidelines on what to send, what not to send, you can also visit gobestbiz.com/social. Yeah. Support on social media. What I need you guys to do is you have to visit your club's pages at least once a day, share the posts we post, like it. If you don't want to share it, at least like it, leave an emoji, anything you engage with tells the algorithm that people want to see that, and then it will show to more people, what means potential more guests to come to your location. Also encourage anybody on your staff to cast to do the same, tag entertainers, tell them to tag us in those stories. We will reshare it if appropriate.
Another really easy one too is the save button, as well
Yes.
as the little like tag, thing at the corner. I usually just create like a little folder that says work, and I save all of the ones that come across my profile or my feed. That way it gives the algorithm, oh, okay, this person liked this post. This must be relevant or important to people. Let's push it a little bit more. So it does help with the algorithm, so people can see your page, your post, all of it.
Right. Because I mean, everybody on Instagram, you probably know, if you find something funny and you send it to your friend, your feed is going to end up with more of the same funny stuff. So we want to do that with the clubs. You want to save it, share it, engage with it, so it will show to more people. All right, I lost. Okay. Email blast. Don't forget to fill out your email blast request at least the last week of the month, so we can get it together and get it sent out by the 1st. Next is a good idea for email blast. All your upcoming events, for sure, put a call to action, what only your email subscribers get. I always show this email for such and such a discount. You don't always have to give everything free. You can just, percentage on whatever you want to do. We can put anything you want into the email blast except nudes, but from special deals, anything you want to put in there, just put it in your request what you want in there. I can't read your mind, or I don't know what works best for what you want to do. So definitely put in your events, upcoming events, any special deals, put it in your email blast request, fill that out. It's in the manager portal. You find the link to that or the form to that. Next, review videos, responses. I don't, sorry. Review responses. So everybody probably seen an email from me when I send you your reviews from Google and Yelp. When you get them, please, take the time to let me know how you want to respond. And I would like you guys to make your responses as a video. Don't just tell this guy thank you or whatever. Like, this is so boring. Nobody cares about that.
Get creative.
Yeah, get creative.
As much as people think that that's not something that people care about, I promise you, people are going into those reviews and they're reading why you're only, 4 stars or why you're 5. They want to know that if they're spending their time, money, and energy to go to this location, they're going to have a good time. And usually where they kind of get a little insight, other than obviously social media, is going to be from the reviews. So make sure that you take the time to curate something personable for your guests, whether it's good or bad, because either way it goes, people want to know if someone had a bad experience, how are you receiving that? How are you responding to that? And how are you making those adjustments so that the next time that person comes in, or maybe the person that's reading that bad review feels like, hey, at least they're trying to make an effort to recreate a better experience for that person. And even if that person doesn't come in, maybe this new person is like, well, I'll check it out anyways. I'm already here. The Uber already dropped me off. I'm gonna have a blast. See how they do it here.
Yes.
What are some good ideas for review responses?
Good ideas for review responses. Well, for the positive ones, I definitely would, make it personal. If somebody shouted out the entertainer or whoever helped made the time great, have them, if they want to be on camera, give that personal response.
You can also get creative, man. If they don't want to be on camera, make it funny. Make it to where maybe like a boob that's fully covered. You draw a smiley face on the stomach. Thank you so much for coming over and seeing me. Look, get creative, get funny, get quirky. People will respond to that. It might be weird, it might feel awkward, but they'll enjoy
Yeah.
it.
And I think especially for the bad ones, I think we just came up with this idea about, I don't know if everybody, was it on Jimmy Kimmel, reading bad mean tweets. I don't know if anybody ever seen that, but you can do it like that way too. You know, somebody said, oh my God, everybody was ugly and it's just sucked. You know, yeah, have your beautiful entertainers there, you know, and read them, and you know,
It's like, oh, you think
oh
I'm
yeah,
ugly?
you know, if you think this is ugly, you know,
All right, well,
You
you
can-
can see the ugly ones. You
yeah,
know, get creative, get funny, get cute. You know, have people help you, whether it's a cast member, an IP, or us.
yes, if you
We'll
if you
talk
need an
about that
idea, yeah,
a little bit more in one of the slides later, but yes,
yeah.
you can help.
If you get a review and you're like, I have no idea what to do with this, let me know, and we will help you. We will come, you know, help you with the response and what you can do. You don't have to do it all by yourself. All right. Next.
10 toes in when we standing on business.
Whew. It is hot in here. Come check out the real thing.
You should probably explain this.
Yeah. All right. So social media examples. So as you can see, we have 3 different types of examples. We have. Oh, I lost it.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can't go.
One way over there, TikToks and Reels. We got this guy right here, selfies. And then we got this guy over here behind the scenes. So when you got all the way over there, you can see my finger, all the way, that one. Oh, perfect. This one. Yes, when you're here. Okay. TikTok Reels. Create trending videos and photos from TikTok and or Instagram. I'm pretty sure most of you know what these are. Those trendy little videos that you see popping up on your feed that you're like, okay, did everybody have this idea, or am I the only one that didn't know about this? Those are called trends. So with those videos, take an idea. Maybe you can use that for your venue. Create that with your cast, with your IPs, whoever's willing to participate in that. The example that I had here, as you can see, that's my lovely face. And if you didn't catch it, it was an IPE from King's the Hustler that started it. He has like a little phone right here, and then it drops into his pants, and that is me inside of his pants. Now, the most ridiculous thing ever, but it took me about 15 minutes to create in total, and we did it inside of the venue. Next one, obviously, selfies, right? That one's pretty self-explanatory, whether it's a photo, whether it's, you know, quick little, you know, video or of some sort. Those are probably the most popular, would you say?
Yeah, selfies
the
for
most
sure.
popular posts, stories, all of that good
Yep.
stuff, because it's so easy to create. It's very personable, and people feel like they can actually almost obtain this person. They look real. They look like,
Yep.
I wonder if this lady is actually at that club, right? And then you got behind the scenes, way over there. Oh, no shit. Sorry, no, just kidding. This one, behind the scenes. So this one's a great one. Show what your venue has to offer outside of just your entertainers. Maybe, you know, you have some amazing cast members that you want to highlight. Maybe you're doing an event that day and you want to show a little bit of the prep work that is being put into it before the actual event. You know, that'll build excitement for your event. And you can start doing that weeks out even. You know, Prettiest Butthole is a great example of that. We have, you know, the host that's putting out his personal experiences and testimonies from not just his, you know, hosting experience, but also people will send in actual comments or DMs telling them about how they went to the one last year, or they're flying in from Alaska to the one this year, you know, and all of that is it's just creating those behind the scenes videos, you know, giving that experience. And you, I mean, technically that could kind of loop into your reviews, but as I say at the very bottom of that, all of these were created within your own venue. These are different venues. Two out of the 3 are at Hustler Las Vegas. One of them is at Deja Vu Stockton. But my point here is this is something that you could easily create within your own venue. You don't need a photo shoot studio. You don't need professional grade cameras. These were all used with phones. Very easy. And
Well, maybe not a flip phone. But
okay, yeah, no flip phones, no Nokias. Okay, I don't know if the younglings in here even know what a Nokia is. They have the snake game on there. Blackberry. But yes, if you have one of the newer phones, fairly newer,
Yeah.
you can easily create any of these. And I'll go into how we can help you a little bit later, but let's go to our next one, because guess what? We have some homework for you. Yes, it's not just us sweating up here giving you all this lovely information. No, we have some homework for you. So right now, I want you guys to take 5 minutes, go on your guys' cell phones and take Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, or all three, whatever you like. Go through, find one photo or video idea that you can recreate in your own venue. Okay, send us the link to that idea to social@GoBestVIP. And then, hold on, challenge doesn't stop there.
yeah, come on.
All right, you have until the weekend to submit your version of that video or photo. Official deadline is Monday morning. Okay, so you have a couple of days, you got the weekend. Pick one that you feel like you can handle creating. So go ahead. You got 5 minutes at the 2:44. Go. Oh, I should have put that song on the background. You guys get my version. I'm sorry. I won't do that for 5 minutes. All right, guys, we got 3 minutes, 3 minutes. 2. Oh, wait, hold on. We need to pop up magically. Ah. That was pretty magical. All right, guys. It looks like we have started to get some in. Don't not send it in. I still want to see what ideas you guys have, but we're on to the next slide now, and we will be awaiting your guys' actual creations by Monday. All right, content ideas. We already talked about having you guys look through some, but we have some as well. So dating app hijack, you know, Bumble, Hinge, all those good ones, Tinder, of course, you know, use attractive casts to create event profiles. And instead of swiping, users get an invite to come meet me tonight for a drink promo and guest list pass, right? So just a little bit of a hack. I know there's a couple of locations that are currently using that. So applaud for that. Oh, okay, I'm on this side now. All right, behind the curtain series, sexy but classy daily entertainer sneak peeks. This is kind of like my behind the scenes, right? So pick an area in your venue that the ladies can consistently create those, you know, like, what am I going to wear today? Maybe you have a section in your locker room where it can feel like, you know, behind the scenes or behind the locker room doors or something like that, a little spicy, right? Obviously, you'd have to talk to everybody and get all of that approved. But next one we got.
Sorry, we're on the wrong side now.
All right, weekly
collapse.
cast takeovers. Same idea, same concept. You know, find some cast members that are willing to create some content, and perhaps maybe have them take over the venue's profile-ish. We can
Collab.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more of a collab, not actually taking over the profile. All right, next one, since we're on a time crunch. Support is mutual. So this is what I was talking about. Don't feel like you guys are alone. Yes, we are having you do homework because at the end of the day, we can't do it all and you guys have to participate, but don't feel like you're alone. You can get assistance with, oh, perfect. Content creation, editing photos and videos, shooting tips and tricks, art requests and submissions, event ideas, content submission, and shoot request. A great place to contact us, I'm sorry, there we go, is at our marketing at GoBESTBiz.com. Just gotta make sure it's the right ending for that one. And if you already have phone numbers, WhatsApp, our personal email, or personal work emails, feel free to reach out. We are here to help you. You guys don't have to feel like you're alone. I cannot stress this enough. We're out of time. Otherwise, I would really emphasize on this. Next. Website. Not us.
All right, I'm back. I'm subbing in for James because he's in Spain. So for your website strategy, James wants me to encourage you to create unique and interesting packages. Add menus. He needs menus, guys. If you have a drink menu, please send that over to James. Both cocktails and mocktails. I have some fun ones to showcase in just the next slide. Or a wacky menu, like BG. I always go the wrong way. Like be the GM for a day for $20,000. You can be Wolf in Washington Park for $20,000. Or you can be Anne in New Orleans and go to all the locations for 50 grand. I don't know. Make a wacky menu, okay? Build up your gallery. So what we can't put on the meta, we can't put on our websites except for nudes. So send photos to James as well. Just like you're sending to Uli, send them to James too, so we can build up your gallery. And if you want an example for a great gallery, Stockton, Reggie, take a look at Stockton Deja Vu. They have an amazing gallery. All right. And woohoo! So we got some really cool submissions of mocktails and cocktails from Tammy and from Anne, from Hustler Nola, the bartender. So there's going to be some additional videos, and so you can let your bartender know it's going to make it to the additional video. We couldn't put it in this, but in the additional videos, they'll see her really cool cocktail, which is also great content. So when you guys see that, use that as great content. Nope, that's the wrong word. Take a video of your bartenders and use that for content to get people in. Make some cool names. So, and I hope you guys have sent this to James. This is a really, really cool, fun drink menu. All right. And then for the mocktails over there, So I got a chance to go to Lansing myself. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but that ice cube has Deja Vu and the legs on it. That one. There's the legs. It's like, it's an ice tattoo. All right. So you can do really, really fun things with mocktails. And I think if I remember correctly, she got the cup from, I don't know, Gear Me Up. I think it may be on my jacket somewhere. And but I think she charges $25 for this drink and they pay it with no alcohol. All right. She's got the thumbs up. That's a $25 mocktail that flies out the door. All right. So mocktails, cocktails, send those menus to James and bring people in with those amazing cocktails and mocktails. Thank you, ladies, for sending in these great cocktails and mocktails. And I'm fading because it's time to wrap up the marketing takeover. And I'm going to turn it over to the bubbly golden summer. All right. Remember, guys, let's get butts in seats. We'll be back for a Q&A. Bye-bye.
Hey y'all, it's time for shout outs. We had some really awesome numbers coming in. We'll just go over them really quick. Barely Legal in New Orleans, week 13, 89,000. Y'all beat goal by 14,000. What? That's crazy. So keep kicking butt. And Stockton, of course. Stockton's always on the board, right? What's up, Reggie? Trophy Club in Greenville and Love Boutique in Lansing and Deja Vu Showgirls in Tampa. Good job. Y'all were awesome in week 13. Look at these streaks. Barely Legal in New Orleans, Trophy Club in Greenville, Deja Vu, Tampa, Love Boutique in Lansing, and Deja Vu in Stockton. Shocked, not shocked. And we have Hustler New York, 131,000. That's 36,000 over goal. What? That's crazy. And Barely Legal in New Orleans, 93,000, 17,000 over goal. What's up? And Deja Vu Showgirls in Ypsilanti, new historical best. Yes. Good job, y'all. And Deja Vu Showgirls in Lansing, I think. And like, yeah, Lansing. And hey, what's up? I just booked my trip to go to the Prettiest Butthole competition. So hopefully y'all put me on your social media, right? All right, so I'll see y'all soon in a couple of weeks. And Love Boutique in Lansing and Stockton. I think, of course, was it Stockton and Tampa? Sure. Tampa. Just add all of you on there, okay? Because you're all amazing and I love all of you and you're superstars. Okay, now we can go to week 16. Hustler New York again for week 16, 156,000. That's 61,000 over goal. Yes. Can't wait to see the Electric Fantasy Show. If y'all haven't heard about it, check it out. Deja Vu Showgirls in Ypsilanti again. What's up? 6,000 over goal. New historical best. Good job. Welcome to the board. Trophy Club in Greenville. Deja Vu Showgirls in Stockton. Reggie, I'm ready to be on the boat social media. What's up? And Deja Vu Showgirls in Lansing. And the Love Boutique in Lansing. So those are your quick shout outs from the Scotty Report. I just wanted to say y'all are all amazing and we love you and good job. And thank you to the marketing team. If you want to come up and say hello and goodbye and do your Q&A. Love y'all. Bye.
All righty. So this is your time to chat with us. I did see a couple in the chat. So I, of course, forgot my phone in my office, but if I remember, oh, thank you. They're right here on the board. Woohoo! Kind of cute. Is he married? Which one? That guy?
No,
He is. He's married to her.
no.
Oh, JD.
Trevor, JD, yeah.
Was it Trevor or JD? Well, it doesn't matter, Tammy, because you are. Anywho. All right. So, BL manager, what method are you using to take crypto? This is the first I'm hearing about that this is doable. So I believe, and it's been a while, so please forgive me, but I believe there is an app for that Las Vegas Hustler and New York Hustler have. So I believe they have an iPad and there's a Well, there's an app for that. So you'll have to get more information from those GMs because it's been about 2 years since I was a part of that conversation, but I do believe there's an app for that. What if there is a BS complaint you know is from an ex-employee? How do you respond? Well, there's a couple of ways to respond. You can use your patron scan to see if that person was even in your club. So again, if you're using your scanning those IDs every single time, you'll find out if JD was actually in the club. All right. That's one way. Another way is you tell Uli, this is some BS. See if you can get that reported, which she successfully did this week for Reggie and Stockton. So there was a BS complaint. We don't know if it's by a former employee or not. However, we do know it was a BS complaint. Yeah. It was actually pretty, it was a review that was just, it was ridiculous. But Uli reported it and it was deleted. So that's another way that you can respond is by saying, this is BS, Uli. All right. And then of course, like we were talking about, so one of the ideas that we've had in the last week's marketing meeting is, as we were talking, as they mentioned, is the Jimmy Kimmel read mean tweets. All right. So again, if you have a BS complaint and the BS complaint is like the service is horrible or whatever, make a video of amazing service as you're reading the complaint or like kind of have it in the background. And again, if you need help with that kind of stuff, let us know. We're happy to help you with the edits and things like that. So there's several different ways that you can respond to a BS complaint. But like I said, I always start with patron scan because one way is to show that they were never there. And then you can use that to send to Uli and then it'll probably be deleted. Okay. Any other questions? This is your time to chat. Chatty chat. All right. Okay. So it is 2:56 Pacific Coast time. So if there are no other questions, thank you guys so much for the, oh, wait, Kyle Wickings. I got one. Okay, Kyle, what's your question? I feel like the Jeopardy music needs to like come on.
He's like, no, let me type it in so they don't leave first.
Right, exactly. So I got one. All right, we're just waiting on Kyle's question. And then we'll say thank you. Or you can also, Tammy said, don't listen to him. You can also come off mute. You know, you can also just like talk to us and we can hear your beautiful voices. That's also a way to ask questions. Can we try to start receiving a confirmation regarding marketing ads put in? Yes. So currently we are using humans who are prone to, you know, busyness. But yes, we are getting closer to our automation when it comes to marketing ads. So please continue to submit them as they are. And I promise you when we get our new automation, which I am still working for the beginning of Q3, that at the beginning of Q3, you should have automated responses that you won't have to worry about humans being or doing other things. Okay.
What had happened, we switched from FormStack to a new software Monday, and that doesn't automatically give you the confirmations like FormStack used to. So that's why you're not seeing that now or over the
It solved one problem and then just another. So again, so we're working with a app developer right now to get you guys a system that will be really automated and also very transparent so that you guys know where it is in the cycle, shipping information, all of that stuff. So it is coming, I promise. It's coming. And again, my goal, and I normally don't miss a deadline. My internal deadline is the beginning of Q3. So I got like 2 months left to get it over to you. Okay. And Summer says because Summer is working with Karen to schedule automations. Well, there you go. So that will actually be solved a lot faster because when Summer is working on Monday with Karen, it happens very fast. All right. Thank you, Summer. All right. Are there any other questions? Okay, well, we hope you enjoyed the marketing takeover. Hope you enjoyed the insights. If you have any questions on your insights that were sent over, please reach out to me directly. And yeah, that'll be it. And if you do not have access to your patron scan reports and you want access to your patron scan reports, please also let me know, okay? You should be able to go in there, but if you can't figure it out, I got you. All right, have a great day, everyone. Oh, Summer wants to know where Lorraine got her cute top.
Oh, Victoria's Secret.
Well, there you go. What a way to end the
10
meeting.
years ago.
Hi, everyone.